this week's Torah portion, we have the reunion of Jacob, and his lost son Joseph after 22 years of separation. After thinking that his son was killed by a wild animal, he discovers that Joseph is alive and he's the viceroy of Egypt, and Jacob and his family move to Egypt, and we read about the joyous reunion of father and his beloved son Joseph. And when the Torah describes the reunion, the Torah says that Joseph went out to greet his father, and he fell upon his neck, and he wept on the shoulders of his father Jacob. And our rabbis tell us that at that very moment that Yaakov was reunited with his long-lost son and thought that his son was gone, killed, and discovers that his son is alive and he merits to see his son again, he is so overcome with joy that what does he do? Says Rashi, he begins to recite the Shema. The question is, why did Yaakov choose to say the Shema at that moment? And the answer is that Yaakov wanted to express his love not only to his son, but his love to Hashem, his gratitude and his connection to God, that he merited to live to see his son and be reunited with him again. I often think of parents who, when their child is being born in the delivery room, they'll recite the Shema at that very moment. It's a way of giving your child a spiritual kiss and saying, my love for you is also connected to my love for God, because I recognize that all my blessings in life come from Hashem. King Solomon in the book of Proverbs says, B'chol l'rachecha de'ehu, know God in all your ways. The word mitzvah is often translated as a good deed, but the real meaning of the word mitzvah either means commandment or connection. There are 613 mitzvot, which can mean not only that we have 613 commandments, but we have 613 points of connection. We live in a world today where we're very much influenced and controlled by the outside, outer directedness. Our smartphones are always telling us what to do and what to respond to. Our tablets, our computers, our cell phones, advertising, marketing. We're bombarded constantly. At this time more than ever, we have to practice mindfulness and intentionality. And what Yaakov's saying is that we have to make sure that our thoughts are always connecting us with the depth of connection with God and with all around us. That we do not just go through life as zombies, just acting like pre-programmed computers, but that we have deeper thoughts and emotions that accompany all of our deeds. And when we do that, we realize that every mundane act can be elevated to a meaningful spiritual level. I'm just going to share with you a powerful story that illustrates that. The old Scheiner Rabbi, who used to live in Crown Heights, moved to Williamsburg many years ago. And when he moved into his new apartment, he called an electrician who happened to be a religious Jew to come do some work in his house. When the electrician came to his home, he asked the Rebbe what he needs done. And he showed him that the bathroom switch was, of course, inside the bathroom. And he asked him if he could relocate the bathroom switch to be outside of the bathroom. The electrician said, sure, that's not a big job. I just have to move the outlet. I don't have to do any rewiring. And sure enough, after a few hours, he moved the outlet switch outside of the bathroom. After the Scheiner Rebbe paid him for his work, he was about to leave, and he said, I'm really curious. Do you mind telling me why did you want to move the bathroom switch from inside the bathroom to outside the bathroom? And the Scheiner Rebbe said to him that ever since I was a young man, I trained myself to always think about which mitzvah I'm fulfilling as I do every single deed. Every act could be elevated if you have the right thoughts, the right feelings, the right intentions, the right motivation. And when I close the lights in the house, I think about the mitzvah that the Torah says, Bal Tashchas. You should not waste, you should not destroy, you should not squander anything. We're not supposed to waste food, as the Torah says. You should not chop down a fruit-bearing tree, because it's Bal Tashchas, you're destroying fruit that God created. And the Talmud and the rabbis say this applies to everything. We should not waste money. We should not waste or destroy clothing or furniture, not throw out things that are valuable, because we should not waste anything that God created in this world. So I trained myself from a very young age that whatever I do, I think about the meaning, the mitzvah I'm doing, how I'm connecting with God at that moment. And whenever I close light switches in my house, I think that by turning off the switch, I'm fulfilling the mitzvah of Baal Tashchas. I'm not wasting electricity in vain. He said, however, we know under Jewish law, when you're in a bathroom, which is an unclean place, you're not allowed to think Torah or make a connection with God. And therefore, if I close the light in the bathroom, I can't think about how I'm doing the mitzvah of Baal Tashchis. So that's why I wanted to move the switch outside, so I could think about the mitzvah of Baal Tashchis and connect with God, even when I'm turning off the light switch. And that is a powerful lesson for all of us. We all have light switches in our homes, but we have many switches in our lives that we're constantly turning on and off. Instead of just doing it robotically, or doing it as a chore, or as a task, as a to-do list, think about the opportunity. Every deed we do, simple deeds like sending someone a piece of mail. You may think, oh, I have to go to the mailbox. But think about the letter you're sending them, the kind words you're expressing, Ahavat Yisrael, love for a fellow man. Anything you do, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer, whatever your profession is, even if you're a sanitation department cleaner, everything you're doing, if you think about, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to help others, to bring cleanliness to the world, to provide others with good advice. I'm not just doing this to make a living. I'm doing this for the right reasons. Then that simple mundane act, 24/7, could be elevated into mitzvahs, points of connection, not just with our fellow man, but with Hashem. Have a wonderful day.